One of the most fascinating and exciting breaks and species of creatures on Earth are the fungi. The fungi are creatures, you can kind of classify them between animals and plants for an overview, but there are different regn of creatures who have some special conditions. They multiply with spores and also have mycelia and their spore caps. And fungi can be anything from mushrooms or molds, and they are very interesting in the way that they evolve, and that they seem to appear out of nowhere. For example, when you leave something out and it develops mold, it seems to appear out of nowhere, and this is very fascinating to see how these creatures work. So come along with me in this wonderful journey in the fungi kingdom. First of all, fungi are prone to appear in wet mediums. For example, a fruit we have really juicy fruit which contains a lot of water, or just humid places. So if you want to get rid, for example, of a mold, you may want to keep your water content of the air in your room to a minimum, and they appear by growing out of spores. And these spores are transmitted mostly by wind through air, and they lay dormant there until they have the right conditions to sprout. And these spores are from other fungi as well, and they're basically everywhere, but only in some circumstances they can sprout. For example, if you forget a fruit and it molds, those spores were already there, and the mold just developed afterwards. And the body of the mold, basically, it's called the mycelia. Usually it is invisible to the naked eye because it is very small, but it is easily visible with a microscope. But some types of molds can also showcase their mycelia, and it's a very beautiful sight. And then the top part are their organs that produce their spores and spread their spores. Their spores you can call them small grains, and they spread really easily through air. And there's some very interesting type of spores who even can catch on fire from some fungi, but also other types of plants, for example, can multiply by spores, but also that is the case with fungi. And these spores that I have been talking about can also be quite dangerous for humans, so it is better to keep these fungi out and to treat these fungi. You can get rid of molds simply by buying a solution from the pharmacy, for example, or just putting some alcohol on them. There are methods to get rid of molds, and it is not really healthy staying in the house with a mold because it would leak these spores everywhere, and that will make future molds possible as well. Moving forward to the mushrooms, these are the mold's larger counterparts, and these mushrooms, as you see, are a delicacy and a treat for many animals, so they developed ways to protect themselves. In their organs that produce these spores, that's the elevation, the part that you see underground, some of them put some poison to prevent it to be eaten, so that way animals don't eat it. And it's actually a very common misconception that a mushroom's body is the elevation. Actually, the mycelia of the mushroom is underground, and the elevation is only the part that releases the spores. And also mushrooms tend to be in colonies because the spores that spread, and you will often see mushrooms in dark gloomy parts of the forest, well, under the shade of trees, and also where it's a little bit humid by a lake maybe, or where humidity was accumulated. And in a home it is kind of hard to grow mushrooms. You need a special mushroom sponge where you need to grow them, and you also have to have a humidifier who can put humidity in the room there. Some people tried it as a hobby, and it yields results, but it's not really worth it to grow them, although they are very important, and the large scale farming made it worth it. Also, if you want to pick up and gather some mushrooms in the forest, you must have an expert guide. It's really, really, really recommended not to pick up mushrooms in the forest or anywhere, because those may be poisonous. You never know which are poisonous. So even though you think you know them, you don't. You gotta be safe. And as the tale says, better safe than sorry. So stay safe and don't do anything stupid. Also, as well as in nature, fungi can appear in human bodies too, mostly on feet, because they are always covered by shoes and socks, and it creates the perfect humid enclosed environment. And that's why a treatment and the prevention of fungi on feet is walking with special shoes, which basically mean you walk bare feet. And even if this may be uncomfortable, it's a way for the body to heal, and that prevents the fungi from evolving on your body. With this being said, I hope I gave you an overview into the immersive world of fungi, and remember to stay safe, and also just feed your curiosity no matter of the age. See you soon, and thank you for watching.